So welcome to the much awaited training videos on how to best use the Smart Scout software. I'm going to try to keep the videos short, no more than 5 to 6 minutes, and make multiple videos so they're easy to navigate through. To start, I want to first begin looking at the first dashboard, which is the categories. So under the categories, you can see in the search that you can look up almost all categories on Amazon. So for the sake of this training video, we're going to focus on the pet supplies category because we have been looking at a particular retailer that's very specific to the pet supplies category. The total product count by default, it's already set at 4, so we're not going to change that. And for monthly revenue, it's at 1,000. So starting at $1,000, we'll start to get data back from Smart Scout. So we're going to leave it at 1,000 as the default. And then we're going to click search. So as soon as you get the results back, you're going to see all the listed Amazon brands that are on the platform. And you're going to get all this header information that the software was able to retrieve directly from Amazon data. Now, in order to navigate through this information a lot faster, there's some preset filters that we want to apply. To begin with, we want to start out with looking at the Amazon in-stock rate. So we definitely want to look for opportunities where Amazon does not typically hold, very high stock numbers for brands, because that gives us more of an opportunity to compete and be able to sell and compete with other merchants that are not Amazon. So the first preset default you want to add here is going to be that we want to see the Amazon stock rate to be max of 30%. Now this number is just a default. We can make this number even lower. We can make the number down to maybe 10%. Obviously, we're going to get a lot less data back. So 30% to start is a good place to start looking at some of this information. The next thing you're going to see is going to be the average number of sellers. So we want to keep the competition not very high. So we want to look at listings where max sellers could be anywhere between 3 if you want to be very conservative, or maybe up to 10 sellers. So for now, I'm just going to, let's put somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to put 6. And I'm going to go ahead and filter that out for number of sellers at 6. Excuse me. The next column is you're going to see the average selling price. And then you're going to see monthly revenue. So this is the monthly revenue across the brand. So how much is the brand bringing in revenue? So again, these are default values. It's just to see what the data looks like. I want to start with a number that's maybe a lot lower, because I want to look at maybe stores who have just launched on Amazon or don't have too much selling history just yet. So for max, I'm going to put 10,000 for now, just to see what the data tells us. So these brands do about $10,000 a month in revenue. The next thing I want to focus on to continue to filter the data is going to be the amount of FBA sellers. So for FBA sellers, again, this is all default values. It's just to test it out right now. So I'm just going to put it at 3 for now. And then the last one that you want to filter through is going to be the dominant seller. So dominant seller, you want to look at where it's actually blank, meaning that there's no one Amazon storefront who's pretty much owning that entire brand and the sales. So once you place all the filters, we end up with about 1,681 brands that fit this criteria. So basically here is we are looking at opportunities across brands in the pet supplies that meet this criteria. So what happens now is that we can go ahead and then take the data that we have from our supplier, right? So we have a pet supplier that we've been working with. We can then take this list with this criteria, identify if any of these brands are being sold by the supplier that we're working with, and then match up those brands. And then we'll take another deep dive into further analyzing what are the opportunities for that particular brand, and if there are any ASINs that we could potentially be of good sales volume, of good rank, low competition, and ultimately getting those ASINs listed on my Amazon storefront. But this basically gives us just a very quick view at the brand level of how is Amazon owning this particular brand, right? So in this case, for this one, Faviort is 0%. So the data is telling us that Amazon really has no presence selling this brand. We see that it does about $4,000 in monthly revenue, which is pretty good for the brand, and that there's very low competition. Maybe this is a private label brand, we don't know, but there's only one seller according to the data. And there are no FBA sellers. And those are the insights that you're grabbing from this dashboard. So I'm already almost at the 7-minute mark, so I'm gonna pause here and I'll see you on the next video.